for education about asexuality, all things asexual. I share my asexual life journey in order to help you and yours. If you haven't already subscribed, what are you waiting for? Go and hit that subscribe button right here, right now. Please hit that bell icon so you get notified of every time I go live like now or post a new video. So yes, when you're a sex repulsed asexual and people think you're lying, what do you do about it? So you might have noticed I'm on my phone, so this is a bit more vlog style tonight, and there's a reason for that, and it's because a guy has accused me of lying about not having sex for 10 years. Yes, he has actually asked me basically to take a look at myself and admit to myself that I'm not telling the truth about the fact I haven't had sex for 10 years. And I haven't had sex for over 10 years. So I'm going to switch now my camera over so you can see his Facebook message, but I've specifically got paper around the edges so you can't see anyone else's messages because I want to respect my friend's privacy. But he personally doesn't have a profile picture. So I've tried to block his name as well. So I'm going to swivel you around to see what he says. So this is his message on Facebook. Let me see if I can get over it for you. So this is his message on Facebook, right? I've tried to cover it up as best as possible. It's really, really hard because my ankle's still a bit swollen to actually focus on it on Facebook, right? Oh, sugar. I'm trying to, he hasn't got a profile pic anyway, so. But yeah, anyway. So, this is his message. I can clearly see you meet to just target Indian, as Indian have million on Facebook. This is an Indian dating group I'm in. He's the only one that sent me a message like this. He was being an idiot in the group as well. He's accusing me of just promoting my book. And I haven't even given a link to my book. Why would you specifically want an Indian? And I explained to him in the group why I want an Indian. Because I believe I've got an Indian soulmate. But this guy's just an idiot. Can you see he's not even got a profile picture? So he's probably one of those guys that's actually cheating on his wife. I hate when people lie. This is coming from someone who doesn't even have a profile picture. Just ask yourself if you didn't had sex from last 10 years, I 100% guarantee you are lying on this. Do you know what I mean? This is just so rude and disgusting. Like, ask yourself if you didn't have sex from last 10 years. I think I would know myself better than this complete stranger who clearly has nothing better to do with his time than disbelieve me, you know? And it's disgusting. And I want to make it clear that I liked Indian guys before I started this channel, right? I knew that I had an Indian soulmate since 2014, way before I started this channel in October 2015. So I liked Indian guys before I ever did this channel. And the reason I like Indian guys, as I've said a million times before, is I believe my soulmate's Indian. I got the most attraction for Indian guys. And, you know, that's the way it is for me. So that's why I want an Indian guy, because I honestly believe my soulmate's Indian, you know? And so, nice to hear from you. Matthew from Sri Lanka. Oh, Matt Booth. Oh, lots of love to you. Oh, I do like Sri Lankan guys as well, actually. As it happens. But yeah, so, because Sri Lankan guys tend to look like Indian guys, don't they? I think, personally. I hope that's not offensive to you. But yeah, so this Indian guy who messaged me, who can't even show his profile picture, like accusing me of lying about not having sex for 10 years, and to take a look at myself, and he can 100% guarantee that I'm lying. How can he 100% guarantee when he doesn't even know me? He's a complete stranger, and he's completely wrong anyway. I'm 1000% not. Same here, my ancestors came from Tamil Nadu in India. Oh, that's fantastic. So yeah, so this guy really, I mean, I just blocked him. So if you get anyone, if you're asexual and get anyone who's accusing you of lying about your asexuality, just block them. You don't need that type of negativity in your life, you know. If he's got nothing better to do this time than accuse me of lying, it's ridiculous. And especially coming from a guy who don't even have a profile picture. Most guys who don't have a profile picture are hiding who they truly are for a reason, because look, they're probably cheating on their partner or wife, you know. And I've had tons of guys from that actual group messaging me about having sex, which I don't want, you know. I'm genuinely asexual. I do experience high levels of arousal sometimes, but I have zero sexual attraction. Like, I can kiss for up to 3 hours and I don't want sex. I'm a hyper kisser, so that's quite rare for an asexual. A lot of asexuals don't like kissing that much, but I love kissing. So yeah, and you know, and I like a public relationship as well. There's so many guys that keep want a private relationship with me, and I'm very public on YouTube. I am not going to hide my future partner for, you know, from talking about him on my YouTube channel. Like, whoever I get to be in a relationship with, if I decide to be in a relationship and not stay single, then, you know, I want him to occasionally be able to come on my channel. You know, it'd be nice. I'm not going to hide that part of my life when I'm on YouTube every single day. And, you know, if I get into a relationship, then they're bound to see me and him together sometimes, you know. And I want a guy that's proud to be seen with me on social media, you know. I got an Indian guy who video chatted with me earlier, and he's like, "Oh, don't mention me on your channel." And it's like, I said, well, you wouldn't be suitable for a relationship with me. You know what I mean? Because whoever I get into a relationship with, I'm going to be mentioning them on my channel, you know, like at some point. You know, because I lead a public life and I don't lead a secret life. You know, and some of my best friends come on here, like, and my close friends can't, you know, obviously with their consent, but, you know, like when I'm talking anyway about people, I usually don't use their names unless they're friends of mine, and obviously they don't mind me doing that. But, you know, like a partner would be my friend and they would want me to you know, like a good partner for me would want me to talk about them, you know. Like, a big part of my life is YouTube and helping asexual, so of course that's gonna be in my life. I actually like it when couples are on YouTube. Like, I watch quite a lot of couples, like especially different types of couples. Like, there's one called Squirmy and Grubs, which is a really good channel, and the guy has muscular dystrophy and his wife is what most guys would find really attractive, and they get a lot of stick and flack because he's got muscular dystrophy and they don't believe someone that's disabled like him can get a wife like her because of how she looks. And, you know, but you can tell they're genuinely love. You can tell she genuinely loves him. And they said he never reached 30 years old, and he's just reached 30 years old, you know. He's got books out and everything, and they've got a huge YouTube channel, you know, and they've also got some channels with age gap love on it. You know, I want to be able to inspire other people, you know, like, but the right guy for me won't worry about that anyway. Want to be seen with me and stuff, you know. So you know, but I've always liked Indian guys since 2014 before I start this channel, and you know, I know what I like. It's my personal preference, and I just go for what I like. I don't believe in like holding yourself back in life and caring what other people think, you know. I think like people waste so much of their life and time worried about what other people think, and they don't enjoy it and they don't have experiences because they're so confined by what others say. At the end of the day, it's not others that should dictate your life, it's you that should dictate your life. And again, if people don't believe you're really asexual, or don't believe you haven't had sex when you say you haven't, then that's their problem. At the end of the day, it's not your problem. You know, you know, you're not here to convince every single person in the world of your truth. You know, the people that matter are going to know that you're honest. Like like even the 21-year-old heterosexual Indian guy I dated, even he said, "Oh, you haven't got a bad bone in your body," to me, which was really nice. And, you know, and I am 100% honest. I don't lie. I can't abide by lying. You know, I haven't had sex since October 2011. That was before I found out I'm asexual in 2014. And the last time I was naked in front of a guy was 2013, because I don't even like being naked in front of a guy anymore. You know, and so yeah, I had sex in the past, but I had it because I thought I had to. I thought it was part of a normal relationship, and I thought that's what, you know, society teaches us. But sometimes in that relationship, we go for 2 or 3 months with no sex whatsoever, and that really suited me. And I thought, oh, I'm not going to get a better guy than this, you know, in that way. And that actually kept me in a relationship which wasn't healthy for me. That's one of the major reasons why I stayed with him. One of them, not all of them, but you know, it was a huge reason for me, because it's like, oh, well, he doesn't have sex with me for 2 or 3 months, and that was really good for me because I'm not bothered about it. I'm not really into it. I don't really like it. But it was consensual with him, and I did have good sex with him at the time. I was with him for like a total of 8.5 years. And I've had sex with 5 guys in the past in my life, you know, all in relationships, not outside of relationships. But I'm not interested in having sex anymore. I only did it because I thought that's what was the done thing. And you know, there was times when I used to cry afterwards and not know why. But now I know it's most likely because I'm asexual, obviously. And I've always just liked the kissing, and I just wanted the guy to carry on kissing me, but then he wanted more. And so now I'm just like, no, I want what I want. I want the kissing, the cuddling, the holding hands. I do not want the sex, and I don't have to have it because there's thousands of asexuals actually out there, you know, who don't want sex either, you know. And it was October, sometime in October 2011 when I last had sex. I remember it, you know, I don't forget something like that. I remember it as well because, well, going into a bit of detail, it was like doggy style, you know? So I do remember the last time I had sex, but in October 2011, we're now in like May 2022. That is like over 11 years ago when I last had sex, you know? And it's like 11 and a half years ago, and I'm really not interested in having any ever again in my life. I have to make it clear with any guys I date, I'm really sex repulsed these days. I'm not interested in sex for me personally. Like, I wished, you know, like the guy in my boyfriends in the past would have just kissed me because I prefer kissing. It does a lot more things for me. Like, it's a lot more exciting, a lot more pleasurable, a lot more interesting for me. It's just better all round. I just prefer it, you know? But in 2013, I couldn't actually have sex anymore. I was in a relationship, but he cheated on me within 3 weeks because I wouldn't have sex with him. So clearly no good for me anyway. But you know, like, I just couldn't bring myself to do that ever again. And that's how I knew I was definitely something different about me, you know, like the fact I could not do that again. It doesn't matter. He was really good looking. I loved kissing him. But I just couldn't have sex with him. My mind was just and was just like, you can't go there, you know? I just can't. And so that in 2014 is when I found out I'm asexual. So yeah, I just don't do that anymore. I'm not lying. I definitely haven't had sex since October 2011. That was the last time. And yeah, I know it was doggy style, and the guy, the boyfriend at the time, was behind me. And the reason I remember that really distinctly as well is because I like to see a guy's face. And, you know, because I'm not really interested in the sex, it's like I just want to see the guy's face. And so I remember it was that position, and I'm thinking, because it's less caring to me and less intimate, that position. So yeah, I remember it distinctly thinking, this is not as caring as I'd like usually, because, you know, it's that way around. But yeah, that was it basically. So I remember the position. I know it's a day in October 2011, but I don't know what day it was. And our relationship ended on the 5th of November 2011. So yeah. And that was the end of that. And I have not had sex since, and I don't want it. I just can't do it anymore. I'm really not interested in it. I don't get that excited and pleasure in it. I mean, everything functions down there like it should, but I mean, sometimes it used to be painful. Sometimes I used to cry after it, and I wasn't really interested in the first place. Like, I would rather do the washing up, even though I hate washing up, you know? I have my headphones on and do the washing up. My ex used to try and instigate sex, and I was like wanting to stay listening to music and do washing up. I can't stand washing up, but that was more pleasurable than the prospect of having sex, because I'm really not interested in it. And like, even tonight, there was a guy who video chatted with me, but said, "Oh, don't mention me on your channel." I'm like, well, I don't do secret relationships, so if that's the case, then we wouldn't be suitable for relationship. And then pretty much the conversation ended soon after that, you know. But he asked me why I don't like sex, even though I told him I don't. You know, keep asking me like, why don't I like sex when I've told you I don't like sex? It's just like basically saying I'm heterosexual and I really want sex, so I'm asking you why you don't want it, you know? It's like, if you accept the fact I don't want sex and you're talking about having a relationship with me, then going around asking me why I don't like sex, it's just like weird, you know, because I'm asexual, you know? So if I don't experience sexual attraction, why would I have a need for sex? Because I don't get the need, urge, or want for sex. So why would I want it? If there's no urge for sex, if there's no need for it or no want for it, why would I want it? I mean, there are some asexuals that do have sex, because they like it as a physical activity to do, but I'm not interested. I find it as exciting as kissing. I love kissing. I'm not interested. I don't want kids either, and I can still have kids physically. I don't want to get pregnant. I don't want to have a kid in my life. I don't want to be a mother. I don't like that lifestyle. I like living like a young teenager myself, like 24/7, 365 days a year. There's absolutely no way I want a kid. I am the kid, you know? I love my life as it is. Like, when I met up with my asexual friend recently, I was telling her about what's happened in the last couple of weeks since I last saw her, and she's like, wow, your life is super interesting. Like, it's only been like just over 2 weeks, like 2.5 weeks since last saw each other, and you've done so much. And I really do believe in having experiences in life and living life to the max as much as you possibly can while you're here, you know? And that means full of things that you enjoy, you know, not things you don't enjoy. I think people worry too much about what other people think, but quite frankly, if someone thinks I'm lying about my asexuality, that's their problem. It's not my problem. I'm definitely not lying. I'm very honest, and my friends know that, you know? And I think sexual of lying about not having sex just shows how ignorant people are about asexuality, you know, because someone who's genuinely asexual, they really do not get, you know, a pure asexual as opposed to a grey asexual. They don't get the need, urge, want for partner sexual intercourse. So there's no motivation to have sex in that way. There's no urgency to have sex. There's no like, you know, like sexuals get like, oh, I really want it, I really want it, I really want it, because it's like kind of like ingrained in them. It's like in their DNA almost. It's like they're wired that way, you know, they're wired to have that urge, and to like it's kind of a restless urge for them. Whereas I don't have that. I understand in a way because I am really into kissing, but I'm not so into kissing that's all I want to do in a relationship and nothing else. Like, as I explained recently, unfortunately, the guy that I had a wonderful date with, who I did enjoy kissing, he wanted to see me again, but only on a kissing hookup basis. And I'm not interested in that. You know, I'm looking for a serious relationship. I certainly do not want to get tied down to one guy just for kissing hookups and then not be able to search for an actual suitable guy for a relationship, because it's a relationship I ultimately want, not just a kissing buddy or a kissing hookup. You know, that's very rude. Like, I love kissing, but not to be used in that way. So, you know, that was no good. And I like intelligent conversation as well, you know. I'm thinking maybe slightly older. Like, I like guys in their early to mid-20s usually, but the guy, like the guy I had the last date with, he's 21, and then I'm talking to another 21-year-old Indian guy. I know he's not Indian, it's Bangladesh actually, but I think he's just too young as well, because he can't really hold a decent conversation. There's a 25-year-old that started talking to me on Facebook dating, and he's actually talking to me properly, you know, backwards and forwards conversation. A 29-year-old as well. So, you know, it's just a lot better really when a guy can hold a conversation, you know, because you want to be able to be I do, intellectually stimulated as well, you know. And you know, for me, like, as an asexual sex repulsed person, like, I'm going to look for different things. When, you know, I'm not interested in sex, I'm going to look for different things in a potential relationship. You know, I'm going to be looking for emotional connection. I'm going to be looking for a really honest, down to earth, open person. You'd be surprised how difficult it is to find a guy who's like open, honest, you know, doesn't lie at all about any little thing. They're very few and far between, these guys. You know, I find a lot of guys, you know, on Facebook dating, they aren't telling the truth. A lot of guys are just repeating back what I'm saying to them, like telling me what I want to hear. And it's like, I don't want that. I want a really genuine, honest guy. Like, you know, someone who can't lie about anything, not even a minute thing, you know. I've met one guy on Facebook dating like that. I think I've possibly met a second one, I'm not sure. But I know there's one guy, but we're not suitable for a relationship because he's going back to India. So that was the end of that. But it's a shame because he was really honest. I really trusted him. I don't usually trust guys like that. So that was quite upsetting actually. But yeah, so, you know, I haven't had sex. I'm not lying, since 2011. I'm not lying about that. I don't lie about stuff. Why would I need to lie? I'm really proud of the fact I haven't had sex for that long, especially when everyone else is like, oh my God, I can't go without sex for 10 days or 2 weeks or 3 days, and everyone else is like kind of longing for sex. Like if I go on a podcast that is presented by heterosexuals, for example, they're usually like, when we're talking about the subject of sex, I'm there raving about it, going, yeah, I haven't had sex for over 10 years. It feels fantastic. And they're like saying, oh, well, that's very different, isn't it? Because most people would be like feeling bad if they hadn't had sex that long. And I'm like raving about it because I'm really happy. To me, it's a good thing. It's a positive thing for me personally, right? That doesn't mean to say that others can't have it, but I really need to find an asexual guy for me, really. But it's really difficult because on Facebook dating, they're all heterosexual as far as I know, apart from the ones that are like gay, or, bisexual, but they're all sexuals, and I find it really difficult because I do get a lot more guys chatting to me, loads more matches and people liking me, get actual dates with heterosexuals. But of course, a lot of them lie. They either, don't believe you're asexual, or they lie and say they don't need sex either. Like there's very few of them that don't actually need sex. And it's sad that they lie. What's the point? Because at the end of the day, if they're just wasting time with me and them, I say might want just a date because they just want the experience. But, I understand that in some ways, but it's not nice lying, and it does waste time, like I can be trying to actually find a decent guy on there. Like the guy who I actually trusted, who sadly is going back to India, he was really funny. He was like lecturing me about how there's more to a relationship than sex. And I found that really funny considering I'm the one who's asexual and he's not. He was a heterosexual. He was an aromantic, he was a demi-romantic heterosexual actually. So I experienced romantic attraction when a deep emotional bond has been formed by a heterosexual. So that was quite interesting. But yeah, so if someone doesn't believe you're asexual, doesn't believe that you're telling the truth, that's really their problem. It just becomes very, very difficult when you date because if they don't believe you, it does come out, the truth comes out. So like when you're in dates, they'll behave like you do want sex and that you are up for it, and they'll talk to you as if they've ignored the fact you don't want sex completely, and they'll just like act like you do. And there is a huge danger of that in terms of safety, because I really don't want sex. I'm not interested. Yes, I'm a very sexy girl, as a lot of guys will point out. Yes, I am very hot, as loads of guys will point out. Yes, I'm aesthetic beautiful, as loads of guys point out. And yes, I'm sure loads of guys want sex with me and I get offered all the time. Like I had a guy, older Indian guy in my inbox, like going, oh, I want sex chat. Obviously I blocked him straight as soon as I saw the messages. They were in my spam box actually. So I didn't see him for a while. But you know what I mean? I'm not interested in that. If I was interested in sex, I could go and get it in my city. I don't need to be on Facebook dating guys like up country. I don't even like need to date guys up country if I go back to my club, because if I go back to my club and end up kissing guys there, I don't really need to be on Facebook dating if that's all I want. But I'm on there because I don't know, there's like thousands of people on Facebook. There's bound to be some asexual guys eventually, I think, go on Facebook dating. I know some of my friends in groups, Facebook groups, they've tried Facebook dating, they're asexual, so there must be some asexual guys on Facebook dating that is suitable for me somewhere, or at least one. But trying to find them is like trying to find a needle in a haystack. And obviously, a lot of sex repulsed asexuals probably won't be on heterosexual dating apps or sites because they don't want sex. So I think as an asexual person, it's really difficult to find someone suitable for a relationship because, like I was discussing with one person today in one of my groups, they said they tried asexual dating and it's so hard because on asexual dating sites I either get no responses or very little response, like it's like one or two messages and that's it. But they think that a lot of people on asexual dating sites aren't really that serious about getting a significant other, and I would absolutely agree with that person. Being on asexual dating sites, I've personally been on them now since 2014, which is when I first found out I got an Indian soulmate. Intuitively, I know that. I haven't met this guy yet. And so, that is a long time. We're in 2022 now. So this is like 8 years now that I've been on a asexual dating site for, well, sites I should say, because I'm on Facebook as well. And I still haven't met the right asexual guy for me. And I run 3 asexual dating groups. So that's why I'm turning to Facebook dating and thinking just maybe possibly an asexual guy is hiding on Facebook dating or somewhere else, or just is it at all possible that I could find a heterosexual that could live without sex? Is it at all possible? I don't know if it is, especially with me, because I am very apparently sexually attractive to a lot of guys, and a lot of guys find me hot and sexy and really just want to have sex with me. I think it's going to be very difficult for me to find a guy who's telling the truth if they are heterosexual and could live without sex. And I think it'd be very difficult for them to live without sex with me, because I know usually sexually a guy gets turned on with 5 minutes of just kissing me. And of course they want more and more, a lot of them. They can't just be doing with the kissing. So it's really difficult, I think, especially when you're a person who's asexual, sex repulsed, and you want a relationship, and you genuinely want someone. I mean, asexuals, do need, some of us do need physical touch. We do need kissing. We do need cuddles. We do need holding hands, and sometimes the only way you can get that is by dating heterosexuals. And it's sad. It's a sad state of affairs when there's not enough awareness in the world and secure awareness that people can come out about being asexual. If there was more asexuals out loud and proud, and if the society was much more accepting of asexuals, there'd be a lot more people that you could meet in everyday walks of life that would identify as asexual, and therefore, you could actually find someone more easily for a relationship. But as it is, people are worried because, even some people's parents mock them. Mine don't. Mine are really good about my asexuality, but some people's parents mock them. Some relatives, like, or even family, try to disown them, just declaring they're asexual and don't want sex, basically, and a lot of asexuals live in fear of ridicule, because it's like, it's like I get stupid message going, oh, I can tell you, like, basically, like, what did he say? Like, the guy in the messages, like, again, he, like, when he's saying about this, like, I'll spin you around again just to show, like this, he's on like that, just ask yourself, if you didn't have sex from last 10 years, I can 100% guarantee you're lying this, I hate when people lie, and he's lying about me, And when he says he hates people that lie, but he's got no profile picture, I find it very hard to believe that he's not lying himself, because he's not even showing his face to the world. That's very deceiving in my opinion, but there you go. That's my personal opinion. I don't go out usually or date guys who have no profile picture. Like, sometimes I'll talk to them if they haven't got an actual profile picture, they don't focus on their profile. It's like, I don't want to be with some fake guy. A guy can't even be bothered to put pictures on his profile, I want a real relationship, not a fallacy. Oh, and I even got a guy in my inbox saying he wanted a digital love relationship. That was like last night. I want a digital love relationship. I want it so badly. I don't know if he meant cam sex or what he meant, but I said I don't want that. I don't do long distance relationships as in another country. I could do like a long distance relationship if it was, for example, in my own country in London, because I love London. Like, that would be feasible, although I still really ideally want him to come and live near me in the future, not with me, because that would just be better than commuting all the time. And I would like a guy to live near me. I think it's nicer. If you're romantic, you spend more time together. But, I would be willing to commute up and down to London more, because I do love London so much. So I get the best of both worlds, the guy in the place, which is really nice. But yeah, like, I don't do long distance relationships abroad. They always end up in misery and upset and pain for me, because I don't want an online only relationship. I want a real relationship with a real guy I can spend time with, kiss, cuddle, hold, touch, stroke in nice ways, non-sexual ways, like with his hair and his shoulders and his arms and his hands, and I do want like a very public, affectionate relationship, which a lot of foreign guys are like, they're not into like public displays of affection with me, and I'm like, you're not my guy then, my guy will love that just as much as me, because I'm into that, and that's what makes me happy. I'm not settle for second best and be some guy's secret. I just don't do secret relationships. I think it's just ridiculous to expect anyone to even consider doing that. If a guy's not proud to be with me, then he shouldn't be with me, and he's not gonna be, you know? It's ridiculous. I need a really strong guy. Clearly, I haven't met that strong guy yet, you know? But I believe he's out there. You know, but I'm in the entrepreneur space, and entrepreneurs do have post pictures of them and their partner, them and their wife, you know? Some of them work in partnership together on social media, you know? And that, you know, that's the type of like lifestyle I want to live, like when we're snapping pictures, me and my guy. And yes, he's going to be a younger guy because I'm not interested in older guys. And yes, he'll probably be Indian. I say probably because I do like other foreign guys as well, not just Indian guys, but Indian guys are my personal preference. But you know what I mean? I just hate it when people accuse you of lying and actually the guy is the one lying about me, because I do not lie and I don't have sex and I haven't had it for over 10 years, you know? And, you know, someone who understands asexuality and knows about asexual people wouldn't say stuff like that, because a lot of asexuals are sex repulsed and they've never had sex in their life before. A lot of them are virgins because they just don't want sex. They don't want to experience that type of thing because it's not interesting. It's repulsive to them, you know? And I wish more and more people would know about asexuality so we could stop all this nonsense, you know? And I wish there was more, you know, like coverage, you know, in the general population, like with the heterosexuals. I know there's quite a lot more coverage now in the media than there used to be, but I still think there's a long way to go in getting it recognised as an official sexual orientation. Like, people just don't believe there's people who can't want, you know, who don't want, like, or need sex. People don't believe that anyone can not want sex because they think it's unnatural to not want sex. But, you know, like, it is natural for some people to not want sex. You know, not everyone in life is going to want every single thing. And that to me is very logical, you know, that they wouldn't want everything, you know? But sadly, people just don't believe, you know, like, even if I tell them, and even if I put in my Facebook dating profile, I hate sex, they'll still like ask questions like, you know, like about, you know, like, why don't you like sex? And it's like, and you know, when people start talking to you about sex when you don't like sex and they're talking about it, it's clear that they like sex, you know? And it's like, I've already stated in my profile, but I had a guy on Facebook dating and he was asking me where I'm from. I said, oh, it's in my bio. He goes, oh, sorry, I can't read your bio, love. I just blocked him and I said, if you can't be bothered to read my bio, then you're not suitable for me. Bye, you know what I mean? And blocked him. It's ridiculous, you know? They clearly are not even looking for something serious and don't give a toss about me, you know what I mean? I think it's really sad. I think there needs to be more love in the world, to be honest. I think, like, in the world, there's a lot of lack of love and proper connection, you know? It seems people, to me, want to just swipe, and get a dopamine fix off messaging different people and not actually wanting anything real. A lot of guys seem non-committal. There's a lot of guys that don't even think about what they want in a relationship in the future. It's like, why be on a dating site or app and not and say you're interested in having a relationship? Then when I say what are your relationship goals, they've got no relationship goals whatsoever. What's your relation? You know, what's your plan? Like, what ideally would you want in a relationship? They've got no clue. It's like, if you haven't thought this thing through, then don't be on a dating app and don't even look for a relationship. What's the point? Because you don't know what the friggin' hell you want. You know what I mean? So yeah. But if you go on a date with someone who doesn't believe you're asexual, it can be really difficult because they can start trying stuff on with you. Years ago, I had this like date with a heterosexual guy, and he was older and I wasn't really that into him, and he tried to like grab hold of me to kiss me, and I didn't like that at all. It was horrible. You know, grabbed hold of my arm, and they even said to me later on, I didn't believe you're really asexual. It's like, I told him about my asexual book, showed him it on Amazon, and he still didn't believe I'm asexual. You know, and I do merch, like, you know, if asexuals didn't exist, which clearly they do because I'm asexual, if asexuals didn't exist, there wouldn't be lots of merchandise all over the internet for asexuals. There wouldn't be loads of asexual books. There wouldn't be people buying these things unless there were asexuals out there. So I don't know why people just so disbelief, you know? It's not natural for everyone to now. Like, I like a younger guy who's got an older soul and is mature for his age and who knows exactly what he wants and likes an older girl and is quite publicly happy about that, you know? I don't want a younger guy to mother. That idea absolutely disgusts me, you know, because I'm not looking for a kid. I'm looking for like a younger guy to actually be in a serious committed relationship with, you know? And it happens to be Indian guys are my personal preference, you know? But you know, where someone believes you or not is really their problem. It's not your problem. It only becomes your problem if they don't believe you and then they try and push you to do things you don't want to do, or they keep going on at you saying, "Oh, why don't you like sex? Have you tried this? Have you tried that?" You know, like, "Oh, you just haven't had sex with me yet." Like someone's got a magic dick and all of a sudden that you're gonna like sex just because it's the guy's dick. You know what I mean? It's disgusting. I'm not interested in that part of the male anatomy. And it doesn't matter what guy it is, I'm never going to be interested in it. He could be really hot, good looking. I could be totally in love with him, but I'm not interested in that. It's genitalia. I wish people would understand genitalia is there to perform functions like going to the toilet. You don't actually need to have genitalia involved in the relationship in a sexual way, you know what I mean? And so yeah, it's a bit icky and it's really unfair that people don't believe you can live without sex for years. It's very sad that our society is so sex centered and that people center relationships around sex. And if you don't have sex, then a lot of the time they don't want a relationship. And you know, it is really sad. I know everyone has their personal preferences though. I do respect that. But yeah, I think it's horrible if people think you're lying and not telling the truth. And all you can do is just keep being you. Block the people in your life that accuse you of lying. You know, get rid of them. There's no point in having these negative people around. If a person doesn't believe you're really asexual, they're not going to work with you. They're not going to cooperate with you. They're not going to support you. Then they're not going to be really safe for you to be around, you know, because if they don't believe you're really asexual, they'll think you want sex even when you don't. And so therefore they could lead to potential sexual abuse situation or being used in the very least, you know. So please don't get into that position. Please just like know that it's not your fault, that if people don't believe you, it's their problem, not yours. Block them, get rid of them out of your life. You don't need those types of people, you know. You know who you are. You know what really happens in your life. And if someone doesn't believe you, that is really their problem. It's not your problem. Anyway, I hope you found this video useful, helpful, insightful. If you have, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to share it with anyone you think may benefit from it. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel if you haven't already and hit the bell icon so you get notified of every time I go live. Like now I post a new video. Thank you to everyone who's been in chat tonight. I really appreciate it, including Matthew, I think it is. Matt Boo. Is that Matt Boo? From Sri Lanka. Anyway, nice to see you. And thank you to anyone else who's been here. I really appreciate you. I'll see you soon. Take care. See you on the next video live stream. Lots of love. Bye. Have a ace day.